Malayalam session and wanted to give this platform for our kids as Children's Day was approaching. The first thought we had was, all right, let's go with a storytelling competition. We created posters and we cascaded on many WhatsApp groups, and the response was overwhelming. And we had a certain criteria. One of the criteria was the kids, they wanted to make a video. I mean, they wanted to create a video and they wanted to share that video with us. Huge number of qualified videos flooded in our inbox. And we had to filter that into 16 numbers. And we welcomed another 6 champion guest speakers as well. Finally, the day of contest came. It was yesterday. It was not mere a storytelling contest, ladies and gentlemen. The kids from the age of 4 showcased enormous amount of passion on stories. Their confidence was on the top notes. No stage fear at all. They brought a lot of emotions in their stories, and their preparation was first class. There was a little girl, Bayan. Her name was Bayan. Bayan was just 4 year old. When she finished her 4 minute story, I'm sure most of the words that she used in the story would have been completely new to her. And we had another girl who fought autism and she survived and she keeps fighting even now. And we had another girl on a wheelchair, partially on a bed. And she was also truly inspirational. And the time management was classic. Everybody appeared in time. Judges got truly puzzled the way how they put their best performance. Finally, we had to find the winner, but it was truly a humongous task, truly a cumbersome task for the judges to find the winner. So all after the session, I was thinking myself that kept, what made the difference in them, what kept them different from us? And finally, I got the answer for that. It is nothing but the passion that they had. In 1960, there was a gentleman called as Skrelly Blotnick. He did a research with 1,500 people. What he did, he divided this 1,500 people into two groups. The first group, he put 83 percentage people, and the second group, he put 17 percentage people. The 83 percentage people, there were people who chose their career because they wanted to make a money. And then 17 percentage people, they chose their career out of sheer passion. After 20 years of observation, he brought his result out. Out of 1,500 people, 101 became millionaires. Out of 101, 100 was from a group which followed the passion. What do we need to go all the way? We have a many empowerment talks fans over here. If you don't know what is empowerment talk, I will tell you. We invite successful people from a different walks of life. It can be from a business. They can be a trainer. They can be a motivation speaker. They can be a coach. They can be a subject expert. They can be a healer. They can be a holistic trainer. They can be a dietitian, whatnot. Whoever came over there, they left with us a feeling. They left with us a feeling that success, happiness, and money, this related to only one thing in our life. What is that thing? It is passion. We must have heard of IQ, intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, adaptability quotient. With that, we need to add another term, another phrase. It's nothing but passion quotient. The person who works passionately, the person who work without passion, the result would be falls apart. That's the reason why Martin Luther King Jr. said, even if you are a street sweeper, do it with passion. So the rest need to acknowledge you. The rest will be forced to recognize your existence. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, after that, what happened? Japanese became really passionate. The one who fixing the screw on the doors of Toyota was passionate, not because of the work that he was doing. It's because he wanted to see these cars in American roads. So ladies and gentlemen, the passion is the key word. If you think you're right. Just be passionate about it. If you lack passion, develop it. Success never come until you are passionate. So, with this, I would like to move on to Anil Thomas, the person who is really passionate on whatever he does. He is the one. You know, we are 33 now. We are all here from the different part of the world. I'm from Bahrain, and Shivapriya, if I'm not wrong, she is from Chennai, right? Or Lucknow. Oh, who said Lucknow? Okay. Venu, I believe he is in
Delhi.
Lucknow now. Delhi. All right. Riaz Ahmadi is from Abu Dhabi. And we are all from a different part of the world. And the person who had this thought first time, he is none other than Mr. Anil Thomas, who wanted to create a club where people are encouraged to read more and more and more and more. And he named that Bookery Show. He created that two version. One is in English, another one is in Malayalam. It's going in a full swing. Anil Thomas, I invite you to introduce our speakers of the day.
Thank you very much, Nias. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see you all again. Wish you a very happy Diwali, Festival of Lights. Once again, my special wishes and prayers to all of you. I've been debating, reviewing in transactional analysis with a few smart people, including Indu Nair for the past 20 days plus. Indu Nair is a great friend of mine. I Am Okay, You Are Okay is a 1967 self-help book by Thomas Anthony Harris. It's a practical guide to transactional analysis as a method for solving problems in life. What is transactional analysis is in the domain of psychology. Let Indu Nair enlighten us. Indu is joining us from Gujarat. She is rated as one of the best top 40 HR professionals in India. She's in the acquirement of for her PhD in HR practices. Friends, help me in welcoming great book and a smart individual in Indu Nair. Indu, welcome.
Thank you very much, Anil. Thank you. Um, on the onset of this festival, I acknowledge my sincere thanks for all the people who have joined today, and wish you a very, very happy Diwali. I'm a person who believes that something that we see is something goes directly into our heart, and that's how I prepared a small presentation, because transaction analysis is something that has more to do while we see and understand, and hence please allow me to share the presentation here. All right, here it comes. Can you all see the presentation? Sure.
Yes, Indu.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, So, once again, Anil, thank you for this opportunity. I am really honored to be a part of this show. Yes, the celebrations are on, but nothing like it while we spend a time on an e-bookery show. The lifestyle has become such that that we get less time to read a book, and this is a forum which gives this opportunity. And thank you to the entire team who is working so hard to make it at a second level altogether. So, what's the highlight of the book that came into me? And before I start, I want to say that this is completely my perspective of what I have understood from the book. The name itself, very catchy. I am okay, you are okay. Book has changed millions of lives, and it has touched mine as well. And I feel this honor to share it with you, that how people today become so impatient, and how is that from a book one can understand what is that other person's perspectives that he's coming from, he or she's coming from, and how is that we can be the best of our conversations in the best possible manner. Thanks, Adnil, for setting the base so nicely. The the entire book is written by Thomas Harris, and it is about the transactional analysis tool. Now, this tool has been originated by Dr. Eric, And Thomas once happened to go to Dr. Eric's workshop on a psychology workshop, and he was very amazed with this tool, and he thought that he should write a book on this, and this is a best book seller that has come up. Now, what did I gain from the book is the book has been actually recommended by HRs, then psychologists, and the people who are more into intervention with people behavior. But while I read the book, I see that uh, this book is recommended for all those who want to build a human relationship. And obviously, we all want that. And that's why this book is recommended to all the people who are looking forward for the same. And this book has a clear guidance, friends, on how to respect the feelings, and it develops a particular perspective on how we can become a dynamic personality. And that's what really attracted me. Now, to make it a little interactive, may I request you to please enter an answer to one of my question, and you will get only 30 seconds to do that. And the question is, what does trust mean to you? And can I please look into the chat box and get some answers? Promise. Okay. Affection, credibility and intimacy, blind faith. Nice. Reflection of my own life, meeting expectation. Very nice. Trust is something that we should keep always. Delivering words are expected. No trust, no love. Mirror self commitment. Okay, right. Wow. So trust has so many different walk the talk, self belief. Amazing, amazing. And I think another 5 minutes and the list goes on. Yeah. Okay. So just let me know if you can see the screen once again. I just escaped it for. All right. So one of the ow moment or wow moment that came while reading the book is, unless and until a person doesn't agree with the understanding of the words and understanding of the goal, the common goal or the common language, the conversation won't happen. Let's say, for example, for someone, um, if I can remember the list, someone trust means it is a blind faith, or a trust means a commitment. For me, trust is honesty. And if I try on keeping to justify my trust, and the other person on the other end is trying to keep on justifying the blind faith or the commitment, the conversation is not going to come to a end. And this was something eye opening that came to me. Wow. Common language, which we don't have at all, because every person has different belief that they carry, and common understanding of what we actually want out of the goal. If these two don't meet, yes, there is no conversation that's going to happen. In a very simple language, if I can just say that, what does a transaction analysis mean? Yeah. So transaction analysis is a tool that has been really developed by Eric, having interacted with most of the people who had some kind of an issue while dealing with other people. And he went on for the years and years to just analyze where these things are coming from. And this tool has really gave a lot of insights in terms of having a transaction stimuli and a response. A transaction happens when I create a conversation, a stimuli, and the person responds to me. And this response can come in any kind of a manner. It can be anger, it can be affection, it can be, you can say, very childish, or it can be in any form of feelings that has led that person for a long time, or a gesture. And that's why the responses come in these three stages. One is the parent, adult, and child. Let me, even when I read this book, initially I felt that parent is someone who is a mother and father, adult is someone who is a grown up, and child is someone who is a 2 or 3 year old child. But no, parent, adult, and child are the three ego states that are in us. Each one of us, everyone in this world who is present, will have these three people under them. I as a person will have a parent in me, have a child in me, and an adult in me. So while I'm talking to you today, it can be a combination of a parent and an adult. So that's how we gauge that can when where the conversations can come in these three stages. Parent is one who really controls, disciplines, or directs, most of the time judgmental. Adult is someone who is very realistic. The conversations are mature, logical, very, very adaptable, exploring. And the child is someone who is really imaginative, exploring, asking questions. So these are the intuitiveness, or the behaviors, or the conversations that come through a child lens. So that's about the three ego states that we see. So we all have these three ego state in us. To to have a more clarity to it, the author had beautifully done the explanation of each of these ego states very well. To be to be very crisp, I would say that how does this parent circle gets created? At the age of 1 to 5, whatever a child listens, sees, all get into the parent circle, because there is a huge imposed recordings from various environment. And there is no editing, because I don't have the existing knowledge as such. And whatever my parents say, or whatever at the age of 1 to 5 I see or I hear my parents do, I exactly take it in my parents circle. For example, mother says, don't touch that knife, it can hurt you. So the child will always take it that, oh, this is something that is going to hurt me and I'm not supposed to touch it. And this gets straight into their heart. So there can be sometimes a contradiction. For example, smoking is injurious for health, is what the child listens. But the child sees a parent smoking in the house. And what happens is the child creates his or her own recording that, oh, smoking can be injurious for health, but sometimes it's okay. So I mean, yeah, definitely, while we get in an adult or uh, adult stage, we feel that, oh, my one of my parent always did, so it's okay to do it. Or it can be other thing. So while we see in a maths equation that, a plus plus is always a plus and minus is a minus. So however bigger the plus is, however smaller the minus is, the result is something less. So it's very important for us to see that when a child is in the nurturing phase, especially at the age of 1 to 5, it's very important that what we say is what we do, and that's what the child actually takes in the parent circle. So this really came as an awakening from me. I have a child of 4 years old, and definitely most of my actions have really went into this way, which creates a lot of awareness in a very right direction. Now, adult is someone at the right side of this picture. If you see, adult is someone who is able to do something which grows from the original thought. Because this is that adult who is able to find the difference between the actual versus the thought. Now, there can be good number of adult personalities, where they actually go and take as is what came to my as a parent circle, I actually implement it. But adult are those who are able to have this ability to update themselves each of the recording. So what was taught to me, what I'm going to do, I do a little analysis, I understand the logic behind, and then update my recordings. So this is very important. It is true that we cannot completely erase what we have been taught, but we can always choose to turn off what we want to actually do. And that's how this person or the adult has the ability to validate and express. So in a very nutshell, parent is a taught concept of life, adult is a thought concept of life, and a child, more to do with the emotions, is a felt concept of life. So that's where we bring it into a nutshell. While we talk about the three important ego states, the author has wonderfully put it to say that even in a parent, we have a nurturing parent and a controlling parent. In a child, we have a free child and an adaptive child. So, as a person, I can sometimes be a nurturing parent. The conversations from me can come up in a nurturing way. Sometimes I get into a controlling way. And sometimes I'm very intuitive as a child and I want to be more accommodative, or there can be some certain stubbornness on certain topics. So these all things come from the child aspect. The most important is being passive, anticipatory, and compliant, which comes from adult. Adult is free of judgmental. Oh, this is right, this is wrong. Adult always explores. Let's see, or how can this be done? What do you see are the challenges? So adult always explores. So this is something again comes very very beautifully from the book. There were two sections to this particular conversation which really attracted me is the cross transaction. So I understood that whenever transaction is crossed, communications are never going to happen. Let's say for this example, parent, adult and child. So there's a conversation between a mother and a daughter. Mother is telling, go get your room clear, get your room cleaned. And the daughter, who has the parent circle in her, which has she might have learned from her mother itself, tells or replies to the mother that you can't tell me what to do. You are not the one who is the boss here. And the entire transaction get crossed. So here you see that a clear transaction has happened and the communication doesn't move forward. Now, here in this example, if we see, adult is talking to an adult is talking to a person in an adult way, that I noticed that there is an over budget on eating. And what's the response? As a child, you might as a child, ego states getting activated, you might say, why are you checking on my expenses? What's wrong with you? So that's a child that's coming up again. It's a cross transaction. And the book gave a clarity to say that the transactions are successful and effective, or the communication and the conversations are effective only when the complementary transactions take place. For example, if we say the same example, I notice that you are going an over budget in the eating. Can we talk about this? And you get a response. Wow, you're right. I think I need to look about it. Let's see how we can refine this current budget is something that we have foreseen. So what you want to say and the response you receive is kind of an expected, so to be in very very in a clear form. So what we do most of the time, we try to defense, or we try to show that I want to win in this particular conversation. But most of the time, we fail to realize that what is that other person expecting out of us? Is it a parent way of answering? Is it a child way of answering, or an adult, or no comments at all? So, what is that a person wants? is sometimes we fail to realize. And that's how adult conversations, or conversations that are parallel, might not be adult, but parallel conversation. Let's say, for example, this I really liked it. uh, so a parent is or a child is telling to a parent, I feel my life is horrible now. And you get a response as a parent itself that, oh, I'll take care of you. How can I help you? So here you see the parallel conversation is there between a child and not parent and parent, which is really dangerous for a communication to happen. So a child in you always says, why should I do, or I want to do. Uh, 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 a parent in you will say, you have to do. And an adult in you will always say, what can be done? So it's as simple as that. And coming towards the end of it is, there are four life positions that we find ourselves in. One is totally unconscious. We are not even conscious. It would be a real, I would say, a success or a victory if you are able to identify in which state I am right now. It would be a real victory if we are really conscious about it. However, there have the writer or the author, the originator of this tool has told that there are four life positions that a person always bees in. One is, I am okay and you are not okay. So this is one space that is more dominant by a parent. What I mean by is that this person might have undergone a lot of issues while in the childhood, and he or she must have really uh, been treated very tough. We don't know what situation this person have gone through at a very early stage. So most of the conversation that this person brings in are dominated by parent. He always want to tell what to be done. That's the crux. And what happens is that uh, he only knows to be that tough. So that's again a thing that he has not been exposed to any other way of dealing it. He only knows to be tough, and over the years he has been, and he continues to be. Second is that this personality will need lot of yes sir, yes sir, yes you're right, these people around them. And if he doesn't have them, then there will be a rebellious situation for them. So this person doesn't want to fail at any point of time and can't accept failure as well, which is a key challenge. And these are those personality who most of the time wants to see fault. I think this is not well, I think this is not, this has to be done this way. So there is a parent highly dominant by due to some or the other reason. And psychologists, what they do is, they want to explore more on what happened in their past lives, or what happened in their childhood, or how they had been grown up. So I think these things really matter, because we are not able to see the intangible side of that person, like in the iceberg. In the iceberg we are not able to see most of the things that is getting deep under it. So in similar way, we are not able to understand why this person is like this, because there's something that has gone wrong, which has been um, really considered as is. He might be happy, he or she might be really very happy in the current life, but there's a lot of thing bagging around because of something that has gone not well in the past, and these personalities want to get rid of. So if I meet a person who is not agreeing to my way of to my conversation, or the person who is not really agreeing to what I'm saying, so when there is the common language is itself not there, I feel, Arey, I am okay, but he is not okay. And sometimes, as an adult, also, we might get into this thing, but unconsciously. So that's one signal. Second is, I am not okay, but you are okay. Now, this life position is also very important. This, now, as we see that I am okay, you are not okay, is a dominant by parent. Here is a life position which is dominant by a child inside you. So you have been treated like this over these years, that you're not okay, you're doing wrong, you are not supposed to do this. Why did you do this? Because of your actions we had to suffer this, or because of you we have come up to this state. So the person or the child in you has taken this recording very strongly, and the child is saying, I am not okay, and you are okay. And then, whatever happens in life, or whatever we do best in your life, you always feel, no, I am not okay. How can I be okay? Only you are okay. And this person cannot say no, and can give up very, very easily, and would like to run away from situations most of the time. Third is, I am not okay, you are not okay. Very, very easily understood. Some relationship do not match, or some conversation will never have certain things in common, so that will get nowhere. So this is something that is unconsciously happening, but the writer has really focused on the conscious way of saying that I am okay and you are okay, which is the name of the book. And this person is an optimistic, constructive person who is in a lot of awareness stage. He's in a conscious stage. So while unconsciously we say, why, here is a conscious mind which says, why not, and get on with the life. And this personality is going to attract the maximum success and follow the passion, as you said in the beginning of our session. So this is how the life positions are set up. It might happen that we go unconsciously in these states while we are in a conversation, but adult awareness while we are communicating, the transaction analysis really takes place, and we need to understand the gesture, the response, and see what that person is coming from, and then really think whether we want to be in a conscious or an unconscious stage. And here comes the self-reflection questions on how one can be in conscious state. So, in our daily communication or in our daily conversation, we can think or we can analyze ourselves what ego states are being activated most of the time. So, is it more parent? Is it more child? Or is it adult? Or what ego states response I am expecting? So, I speak something and I can get a child response. I can get a parent response that, oh, this is something horrible. It's okay. So, this expectation is also something that we can check to be in a conscious state. Which ego state is activated most of the time? So at home we can get activated something else, at outside we get activated something else. So having this conscious call of which is the most that is creating issues for me, or rather I would say that how can I be in an adult most of the time. So this analysis while we are conversing, that which gets most of the time activated, is something that we can always check. An author always asks this question, is that do you still want to then continue? So yeah, so very important one, that having analyzed that I am a parent most of the time, oh, so let's move to adult. So this book has really brought awareness in terms of conversation, getting my expectations really zero. And I recommend that once we should read this book to get directly to this conscious state of having conversation. So that's my last slide, and I am it's 20 minutes and time just passed off, and I'm really happy to share. So friends, which ego state are you in most of the time? So it's now you to think about. And this author has really made wonders by giving it to most of the people. And I have been sharing with multiple people who are in touch with me, you are a parent right now, or you are an adult right now. So I think this works. So explaining them the analysis and getting into conversation also helps, is what the author has said. So having said that, I once again really thank all of you for your patience listening, and wish you a very happy Diwali. Thank you so much.
Wow, into what a
Thank
fantastic
you.
book it is. I'm okay, you are okay. What a fantastic presentation from your side. I would
Pleasure.
strongly say that one, this is the base of any communication. See, being in a business, I'm a business development manager. Like, being in a sales, wherever I go, the first thing which I check over the like my client or my prospect in which mental state that he's in, whether he's in a parent state or a child or an adult. If he's in a parent, as you said, the nurturing or a controlling, then I need to have a cap of a child. And if he's an adult, if he says that, okay, yes, please come, and I need to reduce some cost what I'm having currently, I need to improve my process, then he's on an adult, then I need to wear an adult cap over there. If I go with a child cap or a parent cap over there, the cap will be thrown away, right, Indu? All right. Some
Yes, yes,
customers or a prospect,
absolutely. Absolutely.
they would be completely at a loss and would say that one, yes, I have no clue of what I need to do next. Could you please advise me what I need to do? If I wear a child cap, will it work over there? No. If I wear an adult cap, no. Must wear a parent cap over there, right, Indu?
So,
What a fantastic.
so what all you said, Nias, is absolutely right. And most important is the awareness. I mean, most of us are not aware about it. What conversation we are getting into, what kind of language we use. Because I understood, like we saw the example of trust. Trust has 10 different meaning for 10 different people, and where do we understand the commonality and we say, oh, this things doesn't match with between us. So thoroughly, I mean, I would say that is a recommended book, and once you read, you get into the nerves of this book. And it was a challenging for me to get this entire concept in a very understandable manner, because it has lot of concepts in it. And that's how I try to bring on a presentation so that it is benefited to a larger forum. So it's an honor, it's a pleasure. Thank you everyone for your patience listening, and I thoroughly enjoyed. So it's mutual, I would say.
We need to say the
Thank
same
you.
thing, Intu. Thank you so much again, bringing this wonderful book and a wonderful presentation. And as we all know that one, these are the cues which we get, which we need to pick it with. These are the stimuli which we get. And
Yeah,
nobody
absolutely.
gonna tell you that one, I'm on a parent mode now. So talk to me like a child or talk to me like, parent. They wouldn't say that one. You need to pick it up from there and you need to give a response. That is your skill, the communication skill.
Yeah.
And later, now time is 5:45. Do we need to go for the second book straight, or we need to take somebody to share their ideas on this book? What do you recommend?
Yes, but if possible, can you just call Dr. Rajamani? Dr. Rajamani is a
Very
he's
much.
there.
Doctor, are
Yeah.
you there, doctor? Dr. Rajamani, can we have Dr. Rajamani on a spotlight, please?
He's mute, right?
Dr. Rajamani, okay, okay. I'm sending you a prompt now to unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and you can start talk. If it is possible, please be on a camera, or else if you are comfortable on a mic, please be there. No issues.
Is
Yes,
it
Dr.
okay?
Rajamani. Very much.
Okay. I just gone through the whole presentations.
Okay, doctor.
It's really very nice. And just I wanted to tell you that I am the member of the transaction analysis of the Chennai chapter.
Oh, wow.
So each and everything I really enjoyed the whole thing. It's very useful. And whenever any problem between my management staff, I'm always using this one. Most of the time,
Yes.
whenever they're having some kind of quarrel between one group to A group to B group, I always use this one. "Hey, are you okay? Or you are not okay? Why are you okay?" And all these things. It's very useful. It is really for the management techniques is very useful. This one. At the same time, even
Excellent.
for the family also. For the family also, it's very
Right.
useful. So I would like to congratulate you. You did a very good, excellent presentation. And I want to thank Mr.
Thank you.
Anil. He just called me, and I am. I was busy in some other thing that he told me it's very good, wonderful event. You please come. Now I realized I really came for the wonderful event. It's very good. And I will be
Coming
Thank
there
from
for
you.
you,
all the events.
sir, coming from you, expert on a TA, really means a lot. Thank you.
You are doing excellent job and I'm expecting more and more from you.
I do my best.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
thank you, doctor.
Okay, okay.
So the
Thank you.
first and
Thank you.
foremost
Bye.
thing, what we need to have it, we need to have a stethoscope with us, and we need to know, we need to diagnose what state they are in. Anyhow, thank you so much, doctor. Even
Okay,
as
thank you
doctor
very
said,
much.
it's very much useful at home as well. Sometimes we need to see
Yes.
that one our spouse on which mode she or he is in, and with that mode, you need to give the response, or else
Yes.
you will find the result that you are getting at. We have two people to speak over here. One is Tangavelu, I believe, and then the one is Somaji. Since we do not have much time, I'm just putting a time on you. Tangavelu, sir, please take 30 minutes quickly and please go ahead. Tangavelu, sir, you can unmute yourself, please. Send you a prompt.
Yeah, thank you all. Uh, in fact, this book I read in during 1994, 1984-85. This ma'am, Indu has well presented the whole case, and happy to hear Dr. Rajamani also. And this is basically of the four status of the human mind: child, adult, and parent. That status and the four positions in their life. So that is the interaction, TA. So they were presented in the ma'am, and I thank you all the team members for organizing such an event. Another one more book for next thing I can suggest is, yes, since I was talking about the cabs, that six thinking hats,
Put
Dr.
it on a chat, sir.
Six thinking hats. There's a very popular book, Dr. Edward D. Bono. It's a very popular book. We can take it for review one of the sessions, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Tangavelu, sir.
Thank
So
you.
much, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
It's amazing since you have won, so I don't take too much time. But anyway, congratulations, Indu Nair. You have set a standard benchmark. I think for these people like Anil and company, it will be a challenge to get next reviewers. And I want Indu to do more reviews. I have not heard anybody talking about a good book like I Am Okay, You Are Okay, so comprehensively, and giving all the concepts like nursery level, higher level, or college level to the tune of understanding, along with the speaking slides. And you use your English language skills, and some stresses you use were so very particular, it goes inside. And about the concept about words, actually these are all derived from social sciences like the trust, or when you talk about attitude or personality. Each person, because these is social sciences are based on hypothesis, and hypotheses are never proved 100%. It's not pure science. So basically, every answer is correct, and that gap is there. All our relationships are based or heart to heart. And when you talk from heart, and the other person deal with intelligently or use the head, there's always a problem. The distance between the heart to head, if you know how to measure and come down to that level, I think everything will work. And I am okay.
Fantastic.
Dr. Eric Bond has done wonderful. You are one of the best review masters. I think you should specialize in this, and you should you should go to a TED talk and tell them how to review a book in 20 minutes, and you to show them taking on. I think you should run classes in that level. You become an international speaker, and very, very good wishes to you, and happy Diwali. And I liked it very much.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir,
so
for your
much.
blessings. Thank you.
What a wonderful, the motivating
Absolutely.
review it was. I believe Indu Nair is floating now over there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I am also
It's
Hindu.
touching. It touched me.
I'm an HR leader for the last 30 years.
We know that
Pleased to
one
meet
so
you,
much.
sir.
That's the reason why I put a timeline on you. I know that one you will talk day
No.
and
She
night.
is an HR. That's why I was just about to tell her. That's all.
Fantastic, so much. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Riaz
Thank you.
Ahmed, can you quickly wind up?
Thank you so much, Indu Nair, for such an amazing presentation. I wanted to suggest, I didn't read this book, but I am reading such a book like this, a TA today. This is
Oh, wow.
almost the same, because your talk was excellent. I can go through almost the same points. So happy to hear. That's all.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful review, everyone. I mean, it shows that one you all were so immersed in her, the presentation and the book. The book is an amazing book, and we are not gonna. I mean, being an e-bookery, I'm not gonna forget the author name because it is Anil Thomas. Thomas is there, and Sayed Harris is there. These are the pillars of our e-bookery. Anyhow, with this, I would like to move on to the second speaker. And could you please invite the second speaker, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Intu, for that very, very special talk. It was an amazing, as Somaza said, you set a new benchmark for e-bookery and the speakers. Definitely, but it's all not over. We have a second speaker coming down, and what a
Thank you, Anil.
combination. Yeah, what a combination. Both are HR professionals, and the book is Sense and Sensibility. It's a beautiful novel by Jane Austen, published in 1811. It's such an old book. It was published anonymously. Jane Austen wrote the first draft of the novel in the form of a novel in letters, perhaps as early as 1795, when she was about 21, and said to have given it to the title Eleanor and Marian. She later changed the form to a narrative and the title to Sense and Sensibility. Okay, and that's the history of the book. But let me put it related to our own culture. The Tamil version titled Kandu Kondain stars Mammootty and Ajit Kumar. Tabu is an adaptation of this great novel. My second speaker is another HR professional dealing with humans. She's an alumna of Delhi School of Economics, distinguished Toastmasters. Friends, help me in welcoming Shivpriya GS. Shivpriya, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anil Thomas. It's indeed a pleasure sharing this screen with you, with all of you who are fellow book lovers. We are living in a world where anything could happen. We are living in a world where your world could change upside down within seconds. And that is what the motivation for me to read this book and share it with you. Jane Austen is someone who is known to write complex characters, and she beautifully articulates them in very, very simple words. In this book, as Mr. Thomas has mentioned, that there are two characters, Eleanor and Marian. They're sisters, and how they overcome what has affected the tragic situation that has affected their lives. That is what I want to speak to you about. And what I learned about it, and my father told me once, when you read Jane Austen, every time you read a character, you'll get an immense learning out of it. We all are human beings. We all want to learn so that we could become better human beings. And these two characters taught me a lot so that I could get these learning and probably make better life decisions. It all started in 18th century, where where their father, Mr. Henry Dashwood, he died, and all the wealth moved on to his first wife's son, because in England at those times, only the son could inherit the wealth. The daughters would not be able to. So their mother, along with the three daughters, were left alone with only £500 as an upkeep. With this amount, there is no way they could live the same way they had lived when their father was alive. With the help of some distant relatives, they were able to move to a distant estate so that they could live a peaceful life. Now, if you are a woman with three daughters with no source of income other than just what your stepson had to give for an upkeep, that throws a challenge. So what their daughters were initially, those strategies, those characters, or those efforts will not be enough for them to have a sustainable life. Now, each and every character after the death had different priorities in life. The mother wanted both the daughters to get married so that at least some sort of burden could be cascaded. The daughters, on the other hand, wanted a sustainable living. They wanted to bring in the income as much as possible so that they are able to live with the same, or if not the same, a similar lifestyle. What happens when you're vulnerable? That is the most important question which Jane Austen tries to answer. When you're vulnerable, you are easily attracted to what anything looks nicer. When you're vulnerable, you often do not make cautious decisions. when you're vulnerable, you only adapt to things, or you're only attracted to things on its face value. And that's what happened with the second daughter, Marion. If you remember the movie very clearly, Marion, who was played by Aishwarya Rai in that movie, she was attracted to somebody who had similar interests. In the book, it was poetry. It was all about art and the aesthetic appeal. What she did not understand was that, will this relationship lead to a sustainable one? Does this person really is going to be there when you are at the worst of your life? So what Marian did was, she had fallen in love with a man known as Willoughby. So we are going to call him Will. Will is a dashing young man who's almost good. He's wealthy enough, and what they felt was that he would be able to give her a great life. But guess what? Will also had a lot of complexities in his life. He had to take care of his family, and he had to marry somebody so that he could keep them or give them those measure of amenities which he wanted to. So Will naturally breaks Marian's heart, and Marian goes into a greater depression. She falls sick, almost on the verge of grave danger. And finally, the hero of the story, which is Colonel Brandon, who's 20 years older than Marion, who is a retired colonel, who's actually not retired, but most of the times he spends most of his time in the estate. He had a very tragic past where he was taking care of a daughter. He had a very tragic past where he had trouble in trusting somebody, but he did fall for Marion. And when Marion was at the worst of her life, Colonel Brandon was there to support her. And finally, she realized that when you're in the deepest and darkest hour of your life, the person who supports you is probably the right choice for you. Now, I want you all to reflect for a minute. Imagine how many times in your life, when you were in dire need of somebody's help, those friends who helped you, they're still your lifelong friends. Remember? A friend in need is a friend indeed. And that's true for every relationship. Because the person who's there on your worst will always be the best for you. And that's the first lesson which I learned from this novel, which is Sense and Sensibility. Second, often when we are extremely vulnerable, when we are at the lows, we are depressed, even a smallest sign of attractiveness or smallest sign of aesthetics could mess with our heads. And that's what happened with Marian. Marian lost her father. Marian was almost going to lose her estate. What she did not do was try to understand this person in detail or in depth. What she understood was the surface level matching between her thought process and his, which is only for aesthetics and arts and music. And finally, she fell for him. Often, when we are sad, it's important for us to consciously make an effort to look at the pros and cons and then make a decision. And that's what happens, especially in today's world, when the world is full of vulnerability, the world is full of volatility. It's a VUCA world after all. And we tend to make incorrect decisions because we only look at surface level aspects. Now coming to her sister, Eleanor. Now, Eleanor is somebody who's very difficult to, she finds it difficult to trust people. And also, she's not somebody who's romantic. She doesn't expect a lot. It often happens with us that when we have seen a lot of tragedy in our lives, or when a lot of people have betrayed our trust, we find it very hard to trust others. And that's a very common interpersonal challenge which we all face. What perhaps stopped Eleanor from claiming her happiness is her courage to step out and tell the man that she loves her. Eleanor was in love with Edward. Edward is again another character, and it was beautifully portrayed by Jane Austen that how he's one of the perfect man. But guess what? Eleanor was already betrothed to someone else. When she goes to Sussex, Sussex is the mainland where they were originally from. When Eleanor and Marian visited Sussex, she realized that the person whom she was betrothed to actually fell in love with his brother because he had the lion's share of the estate. She did have this information which could help her claim the man for her life, the true love. But what I really liked about her is her integrity. She kept, or she put others' happiness in front of her own happiness. She did what she thinks is right, and her morality, her moral compass is probably the strongest in terms of, at least in this book, Sense and Sensibility. A lot of times we get into a tangle, or we get into a tug of war between what is morally correct versus what is that we need. And most of the times, that what stops us from taking a decision. Think about it. Has it ever happened to you that you know that something is wrong? At the same time, you could get something out of it, but we had stopped ourselves because we know that it is not morally correct, even though your victory is something which you deserve. That is the beautiful way of sharing how complex, at the same time, how respectable the character Eleanor is. Eleanor does not say anything and she comes back home. Later, Edward realizes that Edward's former fiance has married his brother, and now he's free. Because he was in love with Eleanor, he did not pursue her because he was betrothed. Now that he's free, he has come back to confess his love to Eleanor, and they finally are together. Now, what are some of the things which you could get, or which I had derived from this beautiful novel? As I've mentioned about Mariam, that there are some times we are often the victims of vulnerability. There are some times when we do not take the right decision because we look at the surface level. Eleanor taught me that it's important for me to take the right decision, even though things could be favorable to me. All she had to do is tell somebody or give an information which could just claim the love of her life, but she did not. And especially in today's scenario, where we have pandemic around, where you have economic depression around, where people are losing jobs, people are trying to earn some money from somewhere. In today's world, this world tests our integrity to the maximum level. What is that you would do? The true test of integrity only happens when you are at the losing end. When you're winning, when you're on the top of the world, you will always make the right decisions because you have nothing to lose, right? When you're at with the losing end, and when there's a test for integrity, when somebody questions your moral values, that is the right test. Because over here, there's a great chance for you to do the right thing. And that's what Eleanor talks about. As I've mentioned, that each and every character had its own priorities. That's how our real life is, right? Think about it. The minute you go back to your, after this meeting, you go back to your family, everyone will have different priorities. It's important for you to manage them. If you don't manage them, obviously there's going to be chaos. And as Sindhu mentioned, it's going to be a very chaotic transactional analysis situation. So it's important to tell the other person that I understand your priority. I understand what you need. It's important to tell them that what is that you need. Because most of our times in our lives, we often lose relationships, we often lose clients, we often have a very bad quarrel because we never set our expectations right. And that's what Jane Austen is trying to say. When the mother wanted them to be married, when Eleanor says that it's important for us to have a sustainable life, both of them are equally important. But it was the burden which was on Eleanor's shoulder to take care of both of them. She was the eldest daughter of all. Yes, she needed to get married. Yes, she needed her sister to get married. At the same time, she had a family to take care of. And finally, one great thing which I learned. For 25 years, I was ashamed to ask help from somebody. I thought if I seek help, I would always be in a lower position. I would always be in a place where I owe somebody something. And I felt that I would be probably disrupting my own ego or self-confidence. But guess what? When they were evicted out of their estate, there was somebody who could help them. When Mariam was unwell, there was Colonel Brandon who actually took care of her. So the world is actually is full of nice people. We have so much of tragedy which is happening, and we do not trust our own friends. We feel that what if I ask him for help? He might think less of me. But guess what? It doesn't. We all are social creatures or social animals for a reason. This should not stop you from asking help or even helping someone else. Jane has mentioned that there are people who could be selfish. At the same time, there are nice people around. So what if you're in need? Ask a distant relative. So what if you are unwell? Ask someone you trust to find a good doctor for you. So what if you're in love with somebody? Just tell them that you love them, because there's a very high chance that things would turn around very well for you. I'm sure some of you are smiling, and probably you have mentioned that how much you love your friends or your spouse or your partners. And when they accepted that, you had that happiness coming out of it. That's what happened, because in the same case, Edward told Eleanor that he loved her, and she she again responded to her. Similarly, when Colonel Brandon confessed his love to Mariam, she also said yes. And thus they are happily ever after. So reach out to people, tell them how you feel. Because this world, in today's context, it needs better human beings. It needs positive human beings, and it needs happy human beings. And it's just within your reach. So why don't you go and grab them? So if you enjoyed what I had to say about the book review, please go and read Sense and Sensibility. If you love Sense and Sensibility and the way Jane Austen describes her characters or shares the story, talk about Pride and Prejudice, Persuasion, Emma, Northam, Abbey, and there are many more. Jane Austen only wrote 6 of the novels, but another favorite writer of mine or the dramatist of mine is William Shakespeare. Please go read them, because they don't give you stories or they don't give you a solution directly, but they teach you when a person is in a difficult situation, how and what defines that character. And that becomes a life lesson for you. They don't tell you that do this. They say that this was the best character and they did that. Why don't you think about it in terms of taking that learning and applying it in your life? So with this, I conclude my book review for Sense and Sensibility, and I hand back the stage to Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Shia Priya. What a fantastic evening is this, guys. You know, I really love the story and the way how Shia Priya put it across. That was amazing. I mean, we all felt like as if we were watching a movie. And sense, the simple meaning is a wisdom, or sensibility is a sympathy, and we saw that one, the clear reflection in Eleanor and Marianne. And the characters are awesome: Eleanor, Marianne, Edward, and Colonel and John. Amazing book. And it was, we never felt it was a slow, we never felt it was boring. I'm sure that one, it would have a lot of suspense as well in it. Definitely I'll have to read this one. I never touched this book. I feel like, it's something, if I'm missing it, I really need to go and buy that book. Shipriya, amazingly done. I mean, what a fantastic evening. That's what I said, like, Intu and Shipriya, you made our day. Sinthu Balagopal, ma'am, are you there, ma'am? Ma'am, you need to unmute yourself, ma'am. I'm just giving you a prompt from here. How did you feel about this presentation, ma'am, or the book in general?
Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, very much.
Because I think some net problem is here, because Niaz Ali, you are just standing still. That's why there is no movement in my PC. Is it okay? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We can hear you very clearly and we
Okay,
can see you very
okay,
clearly,
thank
ma'am.
you. Okay, thank you. So, this, Jane Austen's book, Sense and Sensibility, of course, I had read this book earlier when I was in my MA class, of course. And Jane Austen, by coincidence, I think I had mentioned about her last time when I had my book review about that she doesn't have conversations or secret or intimate conversations between men. She doesn't write about it because she feels that she has no way of listening to what two men talk to each other in a secret conversation. And sensibility, of course, I remember analyzing that for my MA class. But after that, I have not read the book. Now it is very good listening to that. And it is a straightforward romance, of course. And the romance is, of course, disturbed by social conventions sometimes. But it is a very good read, and Pride and Prejudice also, Emma, everything. It is a long back that I have read all these books. And about the other book also, I Am Okay, You Are Okay. And that also we have sometimes all the negative thoughts sometimes comes to our head. It is for us to choose what we have to be, adult, parent, or a child. We have to choose ourselves because this multiple personality is inherent in all of us. At one time, one personality comes forward, we have to choose that. Both reviews were amazing, very good, Indu Nair and Shivpriya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sindhu ma'am. This is our treat, e-bookery's treat for each and everyone. We are truly celebrating a Diwali with the crackers and with the sweets from Indu Nair and Shivpriya. Shivpriya, if you don't know, you did something in between. You transported somebody from now to her college days. Now it's on you to bring her back. I would like to call. Swapna George here, please. You are responsible for this, Shivpriya. Sapna ma'am, are you there? I gave you a prompt, ma'am. Sapna George.
Yes, very much. I'm here. Thank you so much.
Sapna ma'am, how dare Shivpriya to transport you back to your college?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Even I am
Very much,
finding
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shivpriya, thank you so much. You have taken me all the way back to my college days. Those days, in the 80s when we were especially in CMS College, Kottayam, maybe that college itself is supposed to be the college for romance, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and all this nicks and bricks and all the in-betweens, all the scenes that you have explained and everything, scenes and characters and everything, taken me all the way back to my college days, and I'm still running through romance now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's so
Sapna
kind
ma'am.
of you to say.
Sapna ma'am, you have a request from our participants to put that college name in the chat, huh?
Yeah, CMS College Kottayam. I will do that. I will do because
All right.
that college
All
is
right.
supposed to be one of the pivotal points in the, anybody who is a Malayali can always identify that college because there are so many romantic movies has come out from that college because we have a Lovers Path Road itself, inside the
Wow.
college. And whenever we are, I'm in the Gulf now, whenever we go for holidays, there's not one holiday that I have not gone and walked through that college because I will not go and see my cousins. Rather, I go back to that college and walk through that Lovers Path and feel that all the romance.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
I'll
That's
put it in the
great.
chat box, the college name. Thank you so much. Shivapriya,
Thank you,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much once again.
Thank you, Sapna
Thank you
ma'am.
so much,
Thanks for
ma'am.
having you over here. We are truly honored with your presence, Sapna ma'am. Yes, we have Anil Thomas, our founder. I would like to hear from him. Anil sir, how has been your experience on Sense and Sensibility?
Sense and Sensibility. I'm not a great reader of fiction, but then this was an amazing book. While I was actually researching on the book, I found this is an adaptation of the movie. Kantu Kondain's movie is an adaptation of this book. And I'm going to pick up this book or a movie. I'm not still decided, but maybe most probably I will take a book and read it. But coming to the presentation, Shiv and Indu, it was an amazing session. It's a special Deepavali session. Thank you for both.
Thank you, Anil Thomas. Can we have a Revati Sharma, please, here? Hi, Revati.
Hi, sir.
Hi,
Actually,
madam. How are you?
yeah, I'm fine.
All right,
Well,
madam. Now you
um,
can, share your experience.
yeah, of course. I'm so thrilled by hearing both these books. One of the best treasures. If somebody has the book collection, definitely they should have these Sense and Sensibility with them, because the best novelist ever. I just admire Jane Austen because I had read Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility too. So I have no words. I'm becoming speechless. Actually, thank you for delivering this. Yeah, that's what I written there. Sumptuous treat on this special
Yeah,
occasion. Thank you
it's
so
so
much.
sweet of you to write.
Yes, I
Yeah.
request you to take as many people possible. So,
Sure.
you
I
can
would
take
like
all
to
of them.
move on to Major Saab. Major Saab, can you take a quick
Okay.
time and
Am I audible?
very much, sir. And
Okay.
you're very much visible too. We can see that all the best behind you.
Oh, thank you. All the best
And
for
we
the
can
Bookery Club, I should say.
just go ahead, sir.
Normally, the spotlight is always given for the second book review. Okay, that is for reasons of primacy that comes first in the heart of the reader. So let me break the convention by going to the first book. First book by Indu Nair was a very, very compelling read, I should say. Equally as compelling as Sense and Sensibility. So Thomas Harris is a fairly recent book. It set the tone for what is called the basis of transaction analysis that had taken the world of psychology by storm for the past 50 years. The one which has been propounded by Eric Byrne. I can see Shivpriya nodding vigorously because a lot of traces of TA are enshrined in her book also.
Correct.
So you can take it as a perfect book review for both these books. Tea has got several interesting concepts. The basic happens to be the ego states, and then it goes on to the drama triangle, games. You have another book called Games People Play. You have another book on Games Indians Play by N.C. Raghunathan. And Riaz was very, very apt in showing that is also equally good book. TA gives a lot of concepts. The easiest and the most basic one is the concepts of parent, adult, and child. The ego states which everybody has in equal measure. One has to just find out which is dominant in our mind. That's it. And that's it. Everybody has got traces of parent, adult, and child. We'll have to see which is dominant at which time. If you continue to remain an adult most of the time, you'll be very, very insipid as a lifeless book. But if you become a child, you'll become a book reviewer. You'll become an animated and gifted speaker like Shivpriya or the first proponent of the review, Indu Nair. TA very, very, very well encapsulated and interestingly narrated and captured in all its essence and splendor by Indu Nair. She was able to sum up the entire contents of the book in just short 20 minutes. And credit goes to Indu Nair for having set the tone and tenor for this book review session. We look forward to the pleasure of hearing more from Indu Nair, maybe from TA concept or any other concept. Coming to the second one, Shivpriya. Sense and Sensibility was supposed to be a portrayal of the women of the end 17th or 18th century, because Jane Austen passed away at the very, very early age of around 42 years. She passed away just 42 years. And that is more a reflection of the mental, that is peregrinations or the idiosyncrasies of the women of that time who were trying to explore the possibility of getting married to good people in order to have a sense of social status and economic well-being and economic security. That is set in that time. It's a different matter altogether that it has become an all-time read, even though she's got 5 more books. Emma is one, Mansfield is one, Northanger Abbey is one. She has written also an anthology also. But very, very most profound reads are these two, Sense and Sensibility and Emma. and recent movie. By recent, I said 20 years before this movie was shot, Kantu Konten. It's an entirely different matter that the movie went off tangent. It only brought the essence of the book, but not the narration was insipid, very, very dull, and very, very monotonous. It never did justice to the book. In stark contrast to what Shivpriya has done today. What Kantu Konten could not accomplish, in just 20 minutes flat, Shivpriya was able to do it. A great job, Shivpriya. And I should say that there are some very good, powerful ideas and thoughts from the book, the Jane Austen. She says, marriage has to be a communion of two minds. Age or mental stations in life, mental prowess never matter at all. That's a very, very powerful statement. And she always says, think of the past as a remembrance of all its pleasures. If your past gives you a lot of pleasures to think about, you have lived your life twice. That's what that is the underlying, crux of the story. And she said, there's one statement by the Colonel. I know that Colonel Nisar Siti is also there among the audience. The Colonel says, if I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more. Lot of profound statements and pithy meanings for life are there. I don't want to take much time. The review of the book itself will be another book review, I should say. And I should thank all of you for having tolerated me for this 5 minutes. Both the books are very, very compelling and very interesting reads. And thank Indu Nair and Shivpriya for having made them more interesting. And it has triggered the spark of reading in all of us. Albert Hubbard would say, because the books that I read, the people that I met, and the places I'd been. And e-bookery truly captures the essence of all three factors. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you so much, Major. How come this can be a tolerance? I mean, we don't want to tolerate you. I mean, it's loud to hear from you always. Major B.V. Narayan and Soma Sajeevan, Sapna George, Sindhu Balagopal. These are the pride emblems of, our e-bookery. So I would like to have Indu Nair also here. If Indu is there, Indu, would you mind coming on a video? I mean, I request every one of you to come on a video if it's possible. Just to have our Q session. Anyway, we are going to have just 10 more minutes. I would like to hear from Indu that, how has been her experience on this e-bookery platform. Hi, Indu, are you comfortable to talk or you need a time? I can go to Shivpriya and I can come back to you. You need to unmute, Indu.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So the experience has been really amazing because this is the first time I'm ever giving a book review. And I'm very watchful of the time because normally as an HR person, I tend to speak a little giving examples, but yes, I did practice and help. This really helped me to be in this 20 minutes limit. But I'm amazed by the inputs that has been given by various people, who have led this program so efficiently. And I'm really thankful to Anil because we are ICF peer coaches, and we interact with each other so many times. And he was the one who has made me, be present in this occasion, and it's an amazing. And I want to also, brush up and polish myself by giving some more reviews of the book, which I feel very, very relevant. And yes, I want to do more and contribute more over here. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Indu Nair. It's been a brilliant session from your side. We all truly enjoyed it. And Anil Thomas, he is there with everywhere. I mean, any kind of a training or a coaching, Anil Thomas is always there. I mean, if we get his contact details from the phone, we will be having a speakers for the next 5 years at least. That many speakers are there. He's always with the speakers, the trainers and coaches, and he's into it big time. And he's a voracious reader. He's one of the blessings that we had over here. We have been having it over here in this eBookery platform. So with this, I would like to move on to Shivpriya.
Thank you so much. I think this has been a very, very, very interesting evening because A transaction analysis is something which we use in our everyday life, especially as a behavioral consultant. That's a part of what we do. But often we forget to go back to basics. And that's what a book review or a book club is all about. There are so many concepts which we use in our life subconsciously, but we never go back and try to brush up our fundamentals. When we don't do that, often we wouldn't even understand why we are doing it. So the key or the first step to self-awareness, the first step to efficiency or effectiveness in interpersonal communication is to go back and understand the why of it. So I think that was pretty much done. I think that was fabulously done. And the best part is that covering a book in 20 minutes is not only very, very effective, it tends to stay in your mind for a very long time. Because often when you read a book, especially in today's busy schedule, you might miss out the starting, you might miss out the end, you might be distracted while you're reading. But 20 minutes of complete concentration, which any human can give, and they are able to understand a new fact altogether. I think it's a beautiful initiative. I have never been to a book club before, frankly speaking. I have always my father has done his masters in English literature, so I speak to him often about any book which I've read, but I've never really gone out and probably shared my views of it. And this is the first time I've been doing, and thank you so much for the feedback on in terms of what all we could do. I think somewhere I felt that we both were reading them together. It was beautifully done. And I'm looking forward to coming to more sessions, or at least follow you on YouTube so that I can read more books in 20 minutes. So thank you so much, Mr. Thomas, for inviting me. I think you surely made my day. It was definitely my sumptuous treat for Diwali, and it was a sumptuous treat for my mind. So thank you once again for inviting me in this platform.
Thank you so much, Shipriya. We also don't have a words to explain you, like, how grateful that we are all for you and into Nair. Such a fantastic session that you have given to us. I would like to call a few newcomers over here. I believe Rodgers. How do I need to pronounce? Did I pronounce your name correctly, or correct me if I'm wrong? Hi, Rodgers. I'm seeing you here for the first time.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, and the entire team. Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I'm here through your invitation. My name is Roger Sotieno. I come from Kenya. I'm a bibliophile. I love books so much. I run a book club here, also a virtual one. And I've really learned from the two presentations. However much I came when the first presentation had started, I learned, and I can say I'm on the stage of an adult where the thinking is, there is much of thinking. The second presentation on Sense and Sensibilities has reminded me of one of Jane Austen's book I read. It's called Pride and Prejudice. It was such nostalgic, it has taken me back too. So I want to appreciate for this learning opportunity, and I believe going forward, I'll be happy to be part of this till the end. Thank you very much, all of you.
Thank you, Rodgers, for being over here. We truly want you to come over here on every Saturdays, Dubai time between 5 and 6:30. We will be coming with the beautiful books and beautiful and wonderful presenters on this platform. We don't want to miss you. So,
Yes,
Rodgers, I
he's
would.
a very powerful person in the in Kenya, because he's running book club and his own bookshops, and he's everywhere. He's a very powerful
Fantastic.
person, very, very powerful person.
Fantastic. Happy to have you over here, Rodgers. If you are from the conduct of Anil Thomas, we can guess half that you would be a powerful person. All right. Thank you so much, Rodgers. With this, I would like to move on to Giri Selvaraj. Giri Selvaraj is a usual face on 5 a.m. Club, but here I don't get to see him much. Hi, Giri. Happy to see you over here. He's a water superman.
Thank you, Niall. Actually, today is happy Diwali for all. Actually, we are doing pujas at the time. Parallelly, I am hearing all the words then and there, even though I can't able to hear 100%. But I am very much happy to see the chats and these young ladies giving so many tips. Really, I enjoyed. Hats off to the team Take care, Anil Thomas and Nia sir. Bye.
Thank you, Giri. Happy to see you over here. Wishing you a happy Diwali, and we love to see you here on every Saturday. And do we have anybody new over here? I don't see any other new names over here. Sanish is from Kerala now. I mean, he used to be from Dubai. Hi, Sanish. Are you there, Sanish? Just to say hi and a happy Diwali to us.
Is there?
Hello, dear. I can't be on video.
Not a
Apologies
problem.
for that.
Not a
But
problem,
yeah,
Sanish.
it was an amazing show, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like as usual,
Mm-hmm.
both the speakers were amazing. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
Mm-hmm.
couldn't come in time,
Mm-hmm.
but both were really good.
Not a
Amazing.
problem, Sanish. Thank you
I
so
love
much
the
for
show,
being over
and
here.
yeah, thank you, man. Thank
And
you. Thank you, dear.
how is your stay there? I hope you are enjoying your break, your vacation in
Yeah,
Kerala.
yeah. Yes,
All right, man.
very much.
So we look forward to
Thank you.
seeing you next Friday on a Malayalam and on Saturday English. And
Sure,
we have a
sure.
Sumadi here. Can we have a quick intro from Sumadi because I don't see her much here. And we have a Parika P. Moideen, and we have a Shakti Priya, and we have a Zeenat Hussain. Anybody here? Colonel Nisar Siti? Anybody would like to talk for a minute? Or else I would like.
Hi. Yeah, this is Shakti Priya.
Hi, Shakti Priya. Good evening, Shakti Priya. How are you?
Good evening. I'm good. Thank you. I hope you all can guess. I'm so sorry I cannot turn my video on because I'm driving, but I guess you all can guess that I'm Shiv Priya's sister. So I just came here to listen to her, and also the first speaker as well. It was a topic that I'm oblivious to, and it was very interesting to hear the perspective. But yeah, I really enjoyed the session, and I love the to go back and visit, especially Sense and Sensibility for me because I'd read that book before. So thank you so much for having me. I didn't know that there was something like this going on until my sister told me. So I'm very happy to come here, and happy Diwali to everyone.
Happy Diwali, Shakti Priya. And our question too is, when are you going to come here as a presenter?
I would love to, honestly. But yes, I will probably ask my sister to, give me your contact so that I can get in touch. Because
Sure. Anil
I'd
Thomas.
love to. Yeah.
He is the kingpin of eBookery. You don't want to go anywhere else.
Okay, perfect. Then Anil, you will expect a message from me soon.
Thank you. Thank
Pleasure,
you,
my
Shakti
pleasure,
Priya.
sir.
Thank you,
My
Shakti
pleasure.
Priya. So
thank you, guys.
safe drive. Happy to
Thank
have
you.
you over here. So we like to look forward to seeing you here on every week. Thank you, everyone. I don't really think anybody else over here to talk. If anyone would like to talk, please unmute yourself and you can give a quick, brief on, how has been your experience with eBookery and how did you feel about our books presentation. Yes, Colonel Nisa Siti is. Hi, Colonel. How are you?
A wonderful evening, Nias Ali.
Wonderful evening to
Great.
you.
This is my first day. Rather,
Is
I
it,
joined a little late because I got
Uh-huh.
the link from Faisal Ibrahim. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club for the last 42 days. That's how
Great.
I
Uh-huh.
got this link. Wonderful. I'm really wonderful in this era of science and technology, where people have forgotten reading. Wonderful to know such a a platform where people can really start their 1,000-mile journey with the best step forward. And my compliments and all the very best to both the reviewers. First one Indu, followed by Shivpriya. I think excellently covered in 20 minutes time duration. And we could really feel and go through that journey through the book, through the ages or whatever you can say. Thank you so much, and definitely looking forward. Yes, I am not a very good reader, but my wife is a voracious reader. I am basically a physical, soldier on ground. But during the lockdown period, I did start something, and then I started reading about 4-5 books now. And definitely looking forward for a wonderful association. And thank you, organizers, for this great concept. And God bless. Wishing you all a wonderful and happy Diwali. Our place is known as Deepavali. I mean, the festival of light. God bless. Let this light, this beacon of light, spread the peace, happiness, and prosperity to the whole universe. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Colonel Nisasiti. That was a truly powerful message from your side. And where are you joining, if I may ask?
I'm presently settled down in Calicut, though I'm permanently settled down in Wayanad. But because of my present assignment, I'm looking after the Social Advancement Foundation of India, which is a charitable trust. We are running Safi Institute of Advanced Study, a college which is about 16 kilometers from Calicut.
All right, all right. Anyway, happy to
I
have you over
retired
here.
from Indian Army after 33 years of service in 2016. I was very
Great.
lucky to go through the length and breadth of this great country like Narayana. And otherwise, from
Fantastic.
Tripura, Thrissur, I belong to Thrissur district.
Great, 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 amazing. So we would like to see you on every Saturday. I mean, you are more into the physical activities, but you are
Definitely looking forward. Definitely.
Mrs.
Thank you so much.
Nisasiti also, I guess, would be interested to join over here since she's a voracious reader. So we will look forward to seeing her also over here. Colonel Nisar.
I would definitely motivate her.
I don't really think motivation is needed if she is someone who's a voracious reader. You may need a motivation from her. Anyhow, thank you so much, Colonel Nisar. And anybody else over here, or else we would like to move on with our word of thanks. I know that one, it's not easy to say a thanks in words, but we will have to give that word of thanks to the wonderful presentation that has been given to us by Shivpriya and Indu Nair. So I would like to call Revati Sharma for this. Revati. Yes, Revati, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Hi, one and all. First of all, I should say happy Diwali, and today is November 14th. So that is the first thing which comes in my mind, because here we are celebrating it. And other than that, here, as we all are adults, but we have a childish mind also. So first of all, I should say happy Children's Day, and November 14th is the birthday of Chachaji, or everyone in this world knows that. And about the e-bookery. And first of all, I'm so happy that I'm here, and I'm so happy to say all the people who is working behind really made this e-bookery a success. And every Saturday we have this program, and every Saturday we are just meeting lots of different speakers around this world, and that itself, it's a great success. Not only a success, it's just great opportunity for a person like me, because I'm just 26. I have a long way to go, so I really wanted such kind of inspirations from lots of people around this world. So whenever I hear this book reviews and all, what I gain is extra knowledge. With I may not be getting lots of time to read certain books and all, but whenever I hear this book reviews, and sometimes it will be like some of my favorite books will be reviewed over here. And lots of them were, I still remember the TED Talks about the TED Talks books. And now that Pride and now Sense and Sensibility and Transaction Analysis, wow, that's one of the best topic actually. It's a psychoanalysis therapy and all. So I went through that, and it is one such concept that we have to cope up daily in our life. So whenever we should be like a normal person, if a normal person is always used to think yeah, I'm okay, then he should also be okay. Like you are also okay. Like that way of mindset should be over there. So really, I'm so happy to give me this opportunity to say word of thanks. And I'm really thanking you, everyone over here, because you all are our strength. Because without you, we will never be able to get succeeded, and we will never be able to move forward. And thank you everyone once again, and thank you for the readers, reviewers. Actually, really, ma'am, Indu ma'am and Shivpriya ma'am, I really am so happy to hear you, and really I'm so happy that you both are over here and done a great book reviews over here, ma'am. Seriously, because I really had one of the best sumptuous dinner over here, because I'm not even hungry right now, seriously, because of this review. Thank you. It's a wonderful treat. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful, wonderfully done, Revati. Thanks a lot for that. This is the beauty of e-bookery. I mean, 26-year-old Revati Sharma is on the other side. 33 years Indian Armed Force experience, Nisa Sethi on the other side. You know, all are sharing their values, each other are sharing the whatever they know each other, and everyone loves reading, everyone loves books. So fantastic. So I wish everyone once again happy Diwali, and have a great time ahead, and be here next week. Sorry, Anleta, is our next week poster ready over here to
Yeah,
share?
poster
All right.
ready, but do you have the presentation with you? Is there on the presentation?
No, if you have, at least if you can play it on our share screen.
All right, I will send it to you. Maybe if we can
Yes,
bring it on
I
the
just,
screen. That's fine.
will take a 1 minute of yours. I would share with you the next week's speakers and their books. So it's ready with us. It will be circulated or it will be cascaded in our group. So what you need to do that one now itself, you please to share with all your friends and family, whoever loves reading, and whoever do you think like, would be apt for this club, invite them as a guest, invite them as a presenter, invite them as role players over here. So this is something we all truly enjoy. We all got a kind of a passion, like, So we got
Nia sent to you by WhatsApp.
Yeah, I got it
so
over
if you
here.
can-
It's just downloading. Yes, once again, I'll just share my screen over here. Yes, the two books that we're gonna have it. One is Eat That Frog Cards, and that is from the Brian Tracy. Everyone knows it. Whoever done sales at least one day in their life, they must have heard of this gentleman, Brian Tracy. And the next one is Unstoppable. And the first book presenter gonna be Pinky Bahruz, and she's a TEDx speaker twice, and she's a motivational speaker and a keynote speaker, teacher, trainer, poet, toastmaster, author of Finding the Chromosome X, but not more. And Sheila M. Cancino, and she's a confidence life coach and chess teacher, author of Born to Tune, Life's Chess and Quest, founder of the Treasures Finder Limited, and distinguished the Toastmaster at DTM. So definitely that's gonna be an amazing session. So the poster is ready. It would be circulated. It would be cascaded in our groups. Everyone, be a leader over here. Please share with as many as possible. Thank you so much once again from Team eBookery. Look forward to seeing you next Saturday. And in between, we have eBookery Malayalam on a Friday. So please be part of it, whoever knows the language Malayalam. Thank you. Take care, Major.
Great job,
Take
Nias. Great
care.
job.
Thank
Again,
you,
once again.
Revati. Thank you, Rod Chris. Thank you, Giri, joining with us. Thank you, Shipriya. Thank you, Colonel Nisasiti. Thank you, Abu Bakar and Padika P. Moideen. And thank you, Dr. N.C. Rajamani.
God bless. Bye.
Look forward to seeing you everyone next week. Happy to see you. And goodbye to everyone.